We back, baby, back with another one because it's Steve and Laura time all the time. You know what I'm saying? And so we go back and we looking at, the love and when did they fall in love? Did they fall in love? Did they love each other when? And all this other topics, all the good loving stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, look. Yeah. Steve and Laura to see where the love go. Love go. Ballin'. Nope, not really.
It's your judgment day. Our report cards are here.
Give me. I'm dying to see what I got in advanced calculus.
Yeah, and I'm dying to see what I got in subatomic nuclear macrobiotics.
So this is why we have to look at this, man. Because people always sit up here when it, this ain't about Myra, but people always want to, put Myra higher than Laura when it comes to skills, you know what I'm saying? School skills, and really she isn't, because I know we don't know what Myra did, but let's remember, okay, Laura got into Harvard University. Okay, so I just want to show where Steve and Laura are on the same page here too. Wow.
I got straight A's. I got straight A+.
Yeah. So this is why we gotta look at this, right? Because we got something in common.
We got straight A's.
Yep.
The reason why I took that long walk is because there's something that's been gnawing at my belly, and I think we need to talk about it.
I love how Steve and Laura always talk stuff out.
What is it, Steve?
Stand a chance. You and I have never even been out on a real date. What am I gonna do?
Well, here's a fresh thought. Why don't you ask me out?
Boom.
You're right.
Light bulb.
I've been so shocked and amazed that you're no longer repulsed by me that I've completely neglected to ask you out.
Now look, look how Laura looking all happy and lucky and everything like that. But we gotta go reminisce for a second.
I was wondering if I could share the pleasure of your company Saturday night.
Go ahead,
I'm
Steve.
busy Saturday night.
Well, how about Sunday night?
See, Laura doesn't realize the presentation, but we got to go back and look, right? Because we never know. Only the Lord truly knows what the future holds. You feel me? Yeah.
Urkel, let me put this to you as nicely as I can.
Baby Laura.
I'm not going out with you. I'm never going out with you.
She says she's never.
You make my skin crawl.
The Lord said other
I
things.
understand. I caught you at a bad time.
Right. See, good positivity. You'll get her later.
She wants me bad.
Yeah.
Laura Winslow.
No.
Oh, you didn't even let me finish.
She just said no. Oh my gosh. Oh, these two right here, man.
Sorry, I was just so eager to answer.
She was so eager to answer.
Laura, I've asked you out 1,000 times and you have said no 1,000 times. I am beginning to notice an alarming trend.
Exactly. Me too, Steve.
Get a clue, Steve. Give it up.
I shall never give up bubbling brown sugar.
Bubbling brown sugar. Look at
In
him.
fact, I'm gonna do something so romantic,
Woo.
so gallant, and so fabulously grandiose that your heart...
Hold on, y'all. We have to ask the question based on Laura's facial expressions. Is his breath hot? Because her facial expressions are communicating that. Steve, you got to get the breath mints first, bruh.
heart won't melt, and it will be mine forever.
This actually does happen, Steve.
Get a life, Steve.
You know.
All right, this is fantastic.
What are you so happy about?
You just said get a life, Steve. A week ago, you would have said get a life, Turbo Nerd.
Progress.
I'm wearing you down, baby.
Uh-huh.
I'm wearing you down.
Ready now. Got that smile on her face. That's winning.
Look, I've been thinking about what you're doing here, and I must admit that it is
Look at
kind of
Laura.
romantic.
So we just had to go back and reminisce on the love. Actually, I guess Steve and Laura didn't have yet, but they really did all this whole entire time. But we want to look at it just to give people hope, right? Steve here, he out here on his burr, you know what I'm saying? You know, to try to get Laura to go out. And it's kind of working a little bit, but we just wanted to bring it back because we're seeing all the times that Laura in her mind was like never ever no. and we see what happens now. Okay.
In a bizarre, twisted, obnoxious sort of way.
Right.
You love me, don't you?
No, my feelings for you haven't changed.
Mm.
And they never will.
Oh.
So that's why we had to look at it, okay? We're going to go back now. What did she say? My feelings for you haven't changed, and they what? Never will. That's why I keep reminding people, look, we can only see down the block, but God can see down the block around the corner, okay? God already knew all this was going to pop up.
Charlie,
Yes, Steve.
would you go out with me this Friday night?
Sorry, I'm busy.
Oh.
Well, I just walked right into that one.
You know what is so cute about Stephen Lord? Presentation's gotten a lot better. He's a little bit smoother with it. 2 hearts are already won.
But I'm free Saturday night.
Oh, there you go.
Hallelujah! Hell has finally frozen over. I'm gonna take me Clara. 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 And Laura, I promise you, Saturday night will be the most wonderful night of your entire life.
Talk to her.
I don't think that's, some people, that's culture, that's tradition. I think chivalry is Christian. You're not a simp if you're chivalrous. You Christian. It means you understand that's God's daughter. And she needs to be treated as such.
You look very handsome tonight.
Thank you, Laura. I'm wearing my new Italian designer suit from AMS.
AMS?
Yeah, that's my suit. Laura, you look so beautiful.
Thank you, Steve.
I'd say you look as pretty as a picture, but I've never seen a picture quite that pretty.
Oh, talk to her.
Well, you're laying it on a little thick, but keep it coming.
Look at this. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? They're just spilling all over each other. You know, and Laura's like, you're putting it on a little thick because, remember, this is the type of stuff Stefan used to do. You know, and so now, Steve's kind of got his little romantic side going.
Shall we look at our menus?
Oh, sure. If you tell me what you like, I'll order it for you.
Well, why would I do that?
Because sometimes fancy cool guys order for their women's.
Well, not this women.
Not this women's.
What looks good to you?
I don't know, something like, I want to save room for dessert.
What's that gonna be?
Your lips.
Oh. Ooh, Steve, didn't I tell you she would make up for it, man? All the time she would make up for it. I tried to tell you.
This lovely lady and I met in kindergarten.
Oh.
Miss Ostendorf's class, September 3rd, 1981. I've loved Laura Winslow ever since. So if you don't mind, tonight I'd like to sing her our song.
We have a song?
And you know it, clap your hands.
What else was there? Laura's like, we have a song. What else was there? This is so, man, look, they go way, way back. You know what I'm saying? They go way, way back.
Wow. That was a hoot. May I have these things?
Steve, I don't know how to polka.
Just follow my lead.
So long. Laura didn't just get here, yesterday. Look, Steve and Laura have been growing in love, and now they're growing in love to fall in love, meaning they're falling in love with the best versions of each other. You get it? Get it? Steve don't even know what to do with it. He don't even know what to do. He don't even know what to do with this newfound information. But it's actually not new information at all. You know, the expression on Steve's face is like, she said it. She said it. Oh my gosh, she said it, right? Because Steve already knows at this point Laura loves him. I think Steve's known for a long time that Laura loves him. So now she's expressing it in the same way he is. Remember what Steve said before when she said, you know, Steve, what am I going to do with you? And he said, love me, Laura. Love me like I love you. He's seeing her do that here. It's, oh my gosh.
Share it with you because it bears repeating. You don't go to the next level. You grow to the next level. You don't do new things. You become the kind of person that's able to do new things.
Steve, come on, we're gonna be late for the movies.
Yeah, look, this is so backwards. Laura is waiting on Steve, but it's okay. He'll have a whole lifetime to be waiting on her. I'm ready.
What's in the basket?
Oh, just a few snacks. Let's see what we got here. Badger chips.
Pass.
A jar of squid jelly.
Hard pass.
And lastly,
Hard pass.
a weasel dog.
See, Laura, this is what you have to remember. What you marry into. Steve, where did you get this food from? Birds would pass on this, man. Come on now. Oh my goodness. Don't eat.
What about popcorn?
Yeah,
At
seriously.
the movies?
Oh my god.
Hey, Steve.
Oh, morning, sunshine.
Morning,
Something
sunshine.
smells good.
It's your breakfast, your royal swellness.
Oh, Steve.
Oh, sorry. Voila!
Now look, I'm just wondering, for all the guys, has Stefan ever cooked for Laura? I don't think so. Steve got up early and made this girl breakfast. Come on now. So now Laura's starting to see what it is. Now she's starting to see the man that God has put before her.
2 eggs over easy, bacon medium, hash browns au bacon with juice and l'orange.
Okay.
All my favorite stuff. What's going on?
Let's just say if you were to choose me as your life mate, this repast would be your future.
Are you trying to bribe me?
You betcha, baby.
Yeah.
This again. It's making a decision to live your life following the example and adhering to the instructions of Jesus Christ. Besides that, the most consequential decision you will make is who you choose to spend the rest of your life with.
We see the big things popping for Steve and Laura, you know. But there's this subject I want to speak on, you know, because I think this could really, really, really help some people. That's why I was always taught about marriage is that, you know, once you get married, God like approves it, right? It doesn't matter. Like, did you seek him? Did you pray? I don't even know this the one, but once you get married, we see in Mark 10:9 where it says, therefore what God has joined together, let no man separate, right? So I think everybody thought, okay, you know, when you go and you say, I do, God joined it together. And that's guys. That is the biggest lie. That whoever you want to marry, God's going to bless it. That's not true, right? It is a complete and total lie. And God had to show me from a person living this out. But I had a friend, and me and him were real tight, really tight. And he was just my friend, but he really walked with the Lord like tough. You know what I'm saying? To the point, you know, that he honored God in everything he did. To the point, Barbara was like, you know, 23. Still pure as the snow, you know what I'm saying? Pure as it comes. And And so he met this young lady, and she had everything. She was pretty, she was smart, she was intelligent, she believed the same things that he did. She had the same values, so we thought that he did and everything. She was cool, she got along with everybody. He was like, yeah, I think this is my wife, right? And of course she says yes and everything. So they got everything planned, wedding set up, but they needed somebody to marry them. And he had this specific pastor in mind. Will this pastor anybody without counseling them? And so my friend was like, bet, no biggie, let's go do it. And so they do 5 sessions. And in the third session, my friend and his fiance were in the third session. And the pastor tells him, hey, God's not in this, and I can't marry you because God's not in this. And my friend was just like, devastated, right? He was just kind of like devastated. And he was like talking to me, and he was like, what do I do? And I just said to him, I said, well, man him up, just, talk to him one-on-one. So he did that. And the pastor said the same thing. He said, I don't think that's who God has for you. Right. And so my friend was like, I don't know what to do. And so I'm just being a supportive friend at this point. I'm like, okay, I'm a little confused myself because everything looked to fit. Right. She loves God. Pastor was like, I can't do it. And he said, I will not marry you guys. He even asked my friend, he said, can you push it back? Can you guys push it back a year? Let me counsel you guys a little bit. And my friend was kind of like, nah, man, like we already got everything ready to go. And so my friend, went and got another pastor. So they go and get married. My friend was, fast forward about 3 so years by this time, they living good. And, I get this weird call one day, man, like this super weird call. And it's from my aunt, and my aunt's like, hey, so-and-so is cheating with so-and-so, right? And so what she told me was her best friend's husband is cheating with my best friend's wife. And I was like, I just kind of sat on it a couple of days because I was like, I knew this was going to devastate this dude, right? And so he calls me and everything. We find, and he tells me, he's like, yeah, she cheated on me. I knew it was going to devastate him. I didn't know to this degree. This man, after he found out all this type of stuff, and my friend called me, she was like, hey, go turn to Channel 5 News. I think your friend's on there. And I was like, my friend wouldn't be on. What are you talking about? She was like, go turn it on, and I was like, okay. And I went to turn it on. I'm like, this dude getting arrested for what? Are you kidding me, right? And so he did a year. So he gets out, and I can't lie. My first, inclination was to be like, bro, I'm cool off you. Like, I don't even know you like that no more. But the Lord was like, nah, you can't treat people like that. You know what I'm saying? You guys still show love, kindness, everything, right? And so the thing, this is where we're about to get, heavy with. This may help somebody. He literally said, I was trying to get back at God, and he said, he said, I did everything. I obeyed God in every way that he told me, I tried to honor him in every way. Why would God allow this to happen? Right. And, I'm a person, I feel like God has given me a gift that I always ask him, I'm like, God, where do we miss you? Where did I miss you at? Where's the error? Like, where was the pastor? The pastor was right. God was not in that. Why? Because God knew this woman was not going to be good to him long term. That's what we got to understand about God and about marriage is that you're looking at right now. This very day, he still blames God, right? He still has not come to the conclusion that God tried to show him in the most obvious way. He went to the pastor. That pastor said, God's not in this. And it turns out 3.5 years, he was right. The pastor didn't know why. He just prayed and was like, I don't feel God's in this, right? And so that was the first thing that God showed me, okay? And then the second thing that God showed me, this is really going to help some people. It really going to help you, okay? But for the one person that it may help, God showed me. I said, well, God, how did we miss? Okay, we saw the pastor. How did we still miss it? He said, because you guys didn't ask my will, you assumed it. And you governed your prayers according to what you assumed my will was. You never asked me what it was. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is true. That is absolutely, I said, God, you got me. I never asked God what his will was because I assumed it. She loves God. He loves God. They both have the same values and all this and that. They get along phenomenal. They make each other laugh. It's all good. Like why would God not approve this? Why would God not be a part of this? So when I prayed for my friend, I just prayed, God bless it. God keep him. I never prayed, God, is this your will? Never, not once, ever. Because I assumed, I already knew, like that's already what it was, right? But we got to understand, and what God showed me is when God said what God has joined together, that does not apply to every single person that gets married. It literally applies to who he joined. We see here, Stephen Laura, right? We can see God's hand moving in their relationship. You see God's in it, right? It's approved by God before they ain't even there yet. They ain't there yet, but you can already see that God's hand is moving. You can already see what's going on. The guy was in it from the very beginning anyway, and he's still in it now, right? But God's not in every marriage. And that's the biggest thing that, that I took away from it. One is the most dangerous thing you can do is assume God's will. So many of us do that. And then you end up like my friend, upset with God because you never actually asked him what his will was. You assumed it and governed your prayers accordingly, governed your actions accordingly. We all do it. We're all guilty of it. Somebody at some point in their life just assumed what God's will was. Is that God said, before I even formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. I predestined you. Meaning God already has a lot of this stuff aligned, right? And that's why we have to pursue God. That's what you may say, well, how did your friend miss it? Because he was assuming the same thing. He was assuming this woman is beautiful. She really was everything he was asking for, right? So he thought. That's why we have to be careful, love. I'm going to show this clip here.
It's a counterfeit until it has covenant attached to it. Okay, let me come back. Okay, look, counterfeit, if you know anything about counterfeits, a counterfeit has the same visual, but not the same value.
So you saw, that's Michael Todd right there, breaking down counterfeits. This is why we have to pray so that we don't fall into marriages with counterfeit people, with Ishmael. I call them Ishmael marriages, right? Where you think it's the promise and it actually really is not. It's actually, you thought it was a blessing, but it was actually a curse. Oh, seek him. He knows what's best for you. My friend looked at his counterfeit wife is what I call her, and looked at right now, and he didn't think about the future. He didn't think in 3.5 years she would have been having an affair with somebody else. I would have never thought it, but God knows, right? And this is why we want to run away from God. We want to get rid of God. We don't want to go by his rules and his ways, and it's like, God's like, I'm just trying to protect y'all. Like, I'm just trying to protect you, but we don't want that. We want to go do things on our own and do things ourselves. And I keep saying it, when we go and do that, we get our own results. And that was a big lesson to me, that it's one of the most dangerous things you can ever do is assume God's will. No, pray God's will, right? Nonetheless, not my will, but your will be done, right? A lot of us don't really want God's will to be done in our life because we think our will's better. Right? We think our way's better. It's not, guys. You're never going to beat God and being good to you. Okay? You're never going to beat God in being good to you. You are not going to be better to you than God will be to you. It just doesn't always seem like it, right? So, like, for example, I think the biggest thing for my friend, in all honesty, is dude was ready. If you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So he was not thinking all in the spirit. He was kind of thinking in his flesh. Brother already, he's 23. He ready to get down with the get down. And I could have been a better friend to him in that, and really sat down like, let's go and really pray God's will. But I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? To this very day, we're really not friends anymore. He ain't really rocking with the Lord like that to this very day. And just understand that God meant that. He said, what God has joined together, let no man separate. He meant what he said. He didn't mean if your mama bring you together, if you bring them together, and this person. He said, what I have joined together, because I've already put things in place and have things in order. I know who's best for you. Saying, don't be reckless with marriage. You know what I'm saying? Because it can be reckless to you. Seek the Lord, really, really lay down your will and surrender your will for his will. He'll let you know, and the person he has picked for you is the perfect person for you. You know what I'm saying? We see this with Steve and Laura. We see this whole back and forth with them. Steve knows, like, Laura's the one for him. He got Myra. Myra's a counterfeit. Okay, Stefan is a counterfeit, right? As Steve and Laura, finally figured that out, but it's because Steve knew all along. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what we got to take with it, guys. But yeah, man, love God, love people. May God bless you. May God keep you.
To stop cuddling with the counterfeit. and get with Christ. And he's going to ask you to do one of these three things very practically when you make a decision to grow up. Pray, fast, give. That's too easy, Pastor Mike. You ain't done it.
A lot of us don't even recognize our prayers are asking God to bless what hell sent. We're so blindfolded to God's will that we're asking for him to bless what the enemy is behind. The culture is giving us trash.